Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Fraser Field for Greater Boston League Baseball. And as usual, spring has been miserable. The weather here is atrocious. It's raining off and on. It's very cold, and there are very few fans here. Lynn English taking on Medford. Medford in first place in the GBL League. If they win out, they win. Classical is one game behind. Congratulations to Esteban Paula and the Bulldogs. They won yesterday against Somerville, and that qualified for the state tournament. They're 10-7. Medford has to win today. They won't play tomorrow because tomorrow's supposed to be a hurricane, heavy rain, wind day, but they'll have to play Revere. Their last game in the GBL. If they win today and then beat Revere, they win out. If they lose a game, Glasgow would have to win out to get a tie. This is Travers Moody, the shortstop, leading off. Hit in the air. That's going to drop for a base hit. So Moody starts the game with a base hit. A little late start. Medford had trouble getting here. Everybody's having trouble with the buses and not an easy time. In for a strike. The GBL teams, the buses that they have, take the kids home from school, then come back to the school and take the teams to the different places. So they're not leaving early. Knocked down by the shortstop. Bieto stopped it from going in the outfield, but back-to-back hits. This one an infield hit. So a little pop-up. I'm dating myself, a Texas leaguer in the right field. Now the infield hit makes it first and second. That was David Crohan with the infield hit. This is John Wright, the pitcher, who can help himself very quickly. He's up with 2 on and nobody out here in the top of the first. Alfredo Perez on the mound. Popped up. And that's going to be a base hit. They're not crushing the ball, but they got the bases loaded and nobody out. Just a little tap just beyond first base. And now the bases are loaded with nobody out for Justin Marino, the center fielder. So Medford looking to get off to a big early head start. High for a ball. Nice stop by Pena on a pitch in the turf. And it's 2-0. From the stretch. In for a strike, 2-1. Perez was ready, then he stepped off. Marino stepped out, now we're back to baseball. Dropped down the way, so he's on the verge of walking in a run. Got to come in with a pitch. Hit in the air. Automatic out with the infield fly. Carriel Benson made the play. That was an easy play for them to make. Esteban Paulo was hitting pop-ups all over the place, prior letting everybody catch pop-ups in the infield. Sky-high pop-ups, and that's what that was. Rocco Pucci, the first baseman, is the hitter. English infield back at double play depth. In for a strike. Hung outside for a ball. Manning Field is quiet. Down and away for a ball. 2-1 the count. Get out in front of that one, hit it a mile out of the park, over the wall, coming in. Way foul. And it counts even at 2. The 2-2 pitch up and coming. Hit in the center field for a base hit. There's going to be 2 runs. 4th hit in the inning. This one by Pucci gives him a couple of RBI, and Medford has jumped out to a 2-0 lead. And they still have first and second with 1 out for Jaden Burns, the third baseman. In for a strike. Another sky-high pop-up. That's an automatic out because it was fair. Perez makes the catch. So 2 infield flies are the 2 outs. And Mike Piccolo, the left fielder, will be the hitter. And we're going to get a pinch runner. Colin O'Keefe will run at second for the pitcher, John Wright. High for a ball. Piccolo was the 7th hitter in the inning. Another sky-high pop-up. Benz is going to make his second play. He dropped the ball. The run's going to score. Had it and just flat out dropped it. I'm surprised the runner only went to second base. He should have been running. Should have at least got to third. So that extends the inning for Alex Cazzola, the right fielder. hit foul to the backstop. So if Cazzola could get on, Medford would bat around in the first inning. The ninth hitter, Mike Miranda, was on deck. They throw it down to second base, not close. Pitch was high over the head. Pena had jump out from behind home plate, go way to his left, and pick that one. Hit foul up in the seats, actually off the backstop. He knew it too. He slammed the bat as soon as he took the pitch. Curveball dropped in for strike 3. But a big inning for the Mustangs of Medford. They sent 8 to the plate, 3 of them scored the last one on that tough error. So they put 3 on the board. They got 3 consecutive hits. They wound up 4 hits in the inning. And English is in a hole before they go to bat. And before John Wright throws a pitch, he's got a 3-0 lead. He'll be pitching to his catcher, David Crohan. For English, it'll be Eward Beato, the shortstop, leading off. Gil McGalva will play center field and bat second. Batting third and playing second base, Jariel Benson. Gilbert Galva will hit fourth and play first base. The left fielder, Julian Rodriguez, will hit number 5. Batting sixth and playing third base, Engel Thomas. Catching and batting seventh, Elian Pena. The pitcher, Wilfredo Perez, will hit number 8 and batting at the tail end of the batting order, hitting number 9 and batting and playing right field, Josue Prandy. So the rain has virtually gone away. At times it was coming down pretty good. And then it stopped, then it came back again, then it stopped. Now it seems like it stopped. A miserable day here at the ballpark, and that's what it's been. And there won't be any games, I don't think, tomorrow. The way the weather is saying, it's going to be a horrible storm tomorrow. Hopefully it'll get carried away and they'll be able to play the Mullins tournament here on Friday. Continuing on Saturday. I don't envy the Lynn Tech baseball team. They're playing the next game at 7 o'clock. Eward Beato, having a good year for him. He's a very good shortstop. He's got some hits for them. In for a strike. So I mentioned Medford is 11-7, but they're 10-2 in the league. English 10-7, and that win yesterday against Somerville gets them in the state tournament. A few more Brave fans coming in. High for a ball. Not a nice day to play. Certainly not a nice day to sit out and watch. Chased that pitch that was way down and away. Couldn't reach that with the bat. But he was committed. So a strikeout starts the first inning for English. Gil McGalva, the center fielder, will be the hitter. chased the high pitch, swung right through it. Down the way for a ball. Few brave fans over at Manning in shorts kicking a soccer ball around. Down the way again, 2-1. That one goes to the backstop. It's 3-1. McGowan has made some great plays out in the outfield. He had a great play the other night, pitching, chased the ball to the backstop and threw a runner out trying to go to the second base. That was from the mound. And he's had some big hits. Hits it foul back and the count goes full. I apologize. I don't know what year English players are because they don't list them. Most of the teams list their players. Hit straight away to center field. Center field comes in a few steps. Justin Marino, like everybody else, makes the one-handed catch. Two-way for Jariel Benson, the second baseman. On the corner for a strike. I don't know if it's Jariel or Jarrell. That one bounces to the backstop. On the inside corner for a strike. Right, moving the ball around. Hit in the right field is going to drop for a base hit. So the two-out single by Benson extends the inning for Gilbert Galva, the first baseman. Line to center field coming on. It takes a hop. So back-to-back hits with two outs. Puts two on for Julian Rodriguez, the left fielder. Julian defensively is a very good outfielder. Along with Galver in center field, they do a great job. Hit in the left center field, coming on. Mike Piccolo had hung up long enough. Piccolo covered a lot of ground, lost his hat, but went and got the ball. Rodriguez hit it well. Piccolo chased it down. Looked like it might be in the gap, but he made a nice defensive play. So English gets a couple of hits, but they leave both of them on base. So we played an inning in this Greater Boston League battle. Medford leading English 3-0. 9-1-2 for Medford as the Mustangs start the second inning. Mike Mirando, the second baseman, will lead it off. against Wilfred Perez, who was starting his second inning. He gave up 2, and then a tough pop-up, would have been the third out, was dropped, and a third run scored. And it was a great hustle by the pinch runner, Colin O'Keefe. He was at second base with the pop-up. Normally it's no need to run full tilt. The inning's over. He's going to catch the ball. But he didn't think that way for all you young kids at home. He made it count. Full speed around the bases when the ball was dropped. As it was dropped, he was crossing home plate from second. That's a great job. And that made it where we are now, 3-0. The Mustangs over the Bulldogs. Missing again wide. This being Wednesday, English will have one day off, and they'll be back here Friday. Orlando ducked away for that one when he heard strike. He looked back and said, I don't believe it. He thought it was way up and in. Hit in the air, long run by Galba. He didn't have to run too far. Benson went a few feet out on the turf, out in right center field. The second baseman made the play. So pop-ups have been the norm for the outs for the Bulldogs. Travis Moody led off the game with a base hit and scored the first run. It's a foul back. We don't have many people to chase the foul balls because there aren't that many fans here on a miserable day at the ballpark. Down and away for a ball. Moody is the Mustangs' shortstop. They stop by paying on a pitch in the turf. Hit foul, kicks out right to the third base coach's box. Chased that pitch, it was down the way, swung right through it. Reached for it, couldn't get it. Second strikeout for Perez. David Crohan singled and scored. He was one of the first 3 hitters back-to-back hits to start the game, and all 3 of them scored. Chop to the Medford dugout. hit to first base. Galva. They just beat him at first base. Galva picked it, pitched it to Perez. So the play goes 3-1 for the putout. So Perez is involved in 2 of the outs in the inning, getting an assist and a strikeout. And it's a 1-2-3 inning. A little different than the first inning. We'll move into the bottom half of the second. It'll be 6, 7, and 8 for the Bulldogs as they try to get back in the game, trailing 3-0. We mentioned the Mullins tournament. It's hard to believe this is the last week, last couple of days of the regular season. The 4th annual Mullins tournament will be doubleheader Friday with English taking on St. Mary's and Glasgow taking on Swampscott, honoring the outstanding young man Dougie Mullins, who was taken way too soon. Had a terrific short life, contributed greatly, helped a lot of people, and was taken way too soon. And it's nice that they can honor him. They've given $12,000 in scholarship money, and I believe it's $1,000 to a player from each of the 4 teams. Joe Caponegro, who Dougie Mullins coached with, had the idea of having the tournament. He's coaching the Swampscott team, Joe Cap. And it's nice that they can honor a great young man. So get here if you can. We hope it's successful. We hope the weather is better. Engel Thomas, who's played all over the place. He's played second, he's played center field, he's played right field. He's at third base tonight. He's also been a pitcher. He pitched a no-hitter this year. Engel Thomas, Elian Pena, Wilfredo Perez. The 3 hitters to face John Wright starting his second inning. High for ball 2. In for a strike. In for strike 2. So after 2-0, the count goes 2-2. Didn't miss by much. Crohan tried to pull it back a little bit, but it just missed outside and the count goes full. Chase, that pitch was way up and in. That's probably ball 4. His second strikeout, John Wright. He was behind 2-0, came back and got him. Elian Pena, the catcher. Is the hitter for the Bulldogs. Does a nice job behind the plate. Hit. Couple of hops to the second baseman. And Mirando over to Pucci for the out. 2 up, 2 down in the second. Pitcher against pitcher here. Wilfredo Perez will be the hitter. Lines it into left field for a base hit. Oh, second inning starts like the first inning started. You get 2 quick outs and then a base hit. English actually got 2 back-to-back hits and got stuck there. Josue Prandy, the right fielder, will be the hitter. I think we're going to get a runner for Perez. Saul Herrera will be the runner at first. In for a strike. Brandy's played a couple of positions. He was a second baseman early. Moved out to right field. The runner takes off, swing and a miss, in easy with a stolen base. So they have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs. Top of the order, Eward Beato on deck. High and away for a ball. Hit in the air. Second baseman started in the outfield, comes back in the infield. Miranda makes the play. English leaves a runner in scoring position. Wright picked up his second strikeout. And we finished 2 in this Greater Boston League battle. First inning, 3 runs the difference. It's Medford 3, English nothing going into the third. 3, 4, and 5 for the Mustangs as we start the third inning. John Wright, the pitcher, got a base hit. 1 of 3 in a row to start the game. He reached second, and when he got to second base, Colin O'Keefe came in to run for him, and Colin O'Keefe hustled greatly. A pop up to the infield would have been the third out. It was dropped, but Keefe just scooted around from second and scored the third run. Down and away for a ball. Hit up the middle. Beato had it, bobbled it. Wright will reach on the error. Looks like he was just about getting set to throw the ball, and it just popped out of his glove in his hand. And Wright will be safe at first base. So they waited till after Wright got to first base, they waited till he got to second base before they put the runner in for him. So they're letting him run again at first base. Justin Marino popped up to second, his 1 trip. Down the way, by the time they realized it got away from Pena, it was too late for Wright to go anywhere. Hit deep to center field. Galbo will hustle back and make the play. He covers a lot of ground. Marino hit that a ton. Galba tracked it down with a nice play. So there's 1 away. Rocco Pucci got a big base hit to right center field. And we're going to have a runner O'Keefe is going to run again. He didn't run earlier, now they're going to run now. I think they want to write the tag up on that play. It was certainly deep enough. So Pucci singled between the second baseman and the second base bag into right center field. And it knocked in 2 runs. So he's 1 for 1 with 2 RBI. In for a strike. Way wide. O'Keefe, when he saw it deflect off Pena, took one giant step like he was going to go and then said, no, I better not. Missing low for a ball. Hit the center field. Galva hustling over. Makes his second play in the inning. So there's 2 away. Jaden Burns, the third baseman, popped up to the pitcher, Perez, in the first inning. Swing and a miss. He chased that pitch. It was up and in. That one drops in for a strike. Quickly 0-2. The runner takes off. You got a good pitch to run on. Way down and in. Payne did a nice job of blocking that. Otherwise, O'Keefe might have gone to third if it got by him, because he was well on his way to second base. He had second base stolen easily. Hit to third. Thomas. Nice pick at first base. Thomas cut in front of the shortstop, made the play, threw it low in the turf, and Gilbert Galva made a nice pick. And that was with the runner rounding third scoring. O'Keefe likes to run the bases. So the error doesn't hurt. They leave a runner on. Wright will start his third inning of work with the Medford Mustangs still leading the Bulldogs of English 3-0 with that 3-run first inning. After that tough first inning, in the second and third innings, Perez retired 6 out of 7. The one person to reach was an infield error. It'll be the top of the order for the Bulldogs. Ewart Beato, Gilmer Galva, Terrell Benson, We mentioned Medford in first place in the Greater Boston League. One game ahead of Link Classical. And the game that cost Classical was the game they lost English here, 12-6. In first strike. Looks like we're going to have Julian Rodriguez warming up in the bullpen. Hit high in the air. Everybody going back is off the third baseman's glove. Hustling and getting in a second with a double. This Piano. Great effort by the third baseman. Burns, he had to go way back behind third base, out in the outfield. Left field is playing very deep. Shortstop had to go a long way. Third baseman went a long way. He almost caught it. He had a long run, reached, and just off his glove. So Beato winds up with a double. And Gilbert Galvo, who flies out to center field, will be the hitter. Push the bunt too far. Nobody covering first. They throw it away. Wright hesitated, and there was nobody there, and then he threw it to the bag, and there was still nobody there. So Galva gets credit for a sacrifice. He goes to second on the error. English is on the board. It's 3-1. Wright, the bunt was pushed way too far. Wright had an easy play, but the second baseman didn't get to cover first. The first baseman was coming in to field the bunt. So Wright had to hesitate, and then when he hesitated, then he threw the ball right to the bag, but there was nobody there. Beato scores easily on the error. Gal gets the sacrifice, and he winds up at second base on the error. And it's 3-1 with a runner at second for Gerald Benson, who singled his first time up. He wishes he saved it for now because he gets stranded at second base. He'd love to get a hit now and bring the run in. The left fielder is playing out at Manning Field. Center fielder and right fielder are fairly shallow, but the left fielder is way out in left field. Lined in the right center field for a base hit. English coming back. Benson's got his second hit and an RBI. And don't look now, but it's 3-2. Gilbert Galva got a base hit, his one time up. Benson jumped on that first pitch and ripped it in the right center field. Marino, the center fielder, held it to a single. Third baseman is leaning a little bit toward the plate, expecting maybe a bunt, but I don't think so. Off the catcher in the turf. Foul tip held on to by the catcher, Crowhan. Hit foul back out of play. Hot shot, but he got out in front and pulled it foul past third base. English knocked Classical out of first place with the win in the Inter-City League battle a week ago. Now, if they could get a win here today, they would help Classical get back into first place. Assuming Classical beats Revere today. Off the glove, the tying run goes to second base. That's a pass ball. Just went off the catcher's glove. So the tying run at second base with nobody out here in the bottom of the third. Gilbert Galvo would love a base hit here. Again, I can't believe how far that left fielder is playing. Chased the pitch, it was down, and he swung right through it. So one away, Junior Rodriguez hit a shot, looked like a base hit in the gap, and the left fielder, Mike Piccolo, made a nice running catch. And that was with runners at first and second in the first inning. Hit foul to the backstop. They ran a play. All the infield, shortstop, third baseman, first baseman charged home plate. Shortstop went to third, hoping that the runner at second, Benson, would get way off the bag. And the second baseman, Miranda, tried to sneak in behind him. Hit foul back. They were hoping Benson, with the shortstop going to third and the third baseman coming in, would think he had a lot of room, get way off the bag, and the second baseman could be there for a pickoff. Swing and a miss for strike three. So back-to-back strikeouts after English got the tying run to second base. Engel Thomas struck out swinging his one trip. In for a strike. Hit to right field. Few steps to his right. Alex Cazzola makes the play. But English gets back in the game. Actually, it could have got a little bit closer. They had the tying run at second base with nobody out. But they get two, helped out by an error. We played three. And it's now Medford 3, English 2 at the end of 3. 7, 8, and 9 for Medford as we start the fourth inning. English has closed the gap, getting 2 in the third inning. Like Medford was helped out by an error in the first inning. English was helped out by an error in that inning. They got 2. Mike Piccolo to left field. He made that nice running catch to take a hit away from Julian Rodriguez, and also took a run away because the runners at first and second on a shot in the gap. Piedo feels it, gets it to Galva for the out. Piccolo had also reached an error. His pop-up was dropped in the infield in the first inning, and that allowed the run, that's the difference in the game, to score. O'Keefe, the pitch runner for the pitcher right, came all the way around from second on a pop-up to second. Alice Gazzolo, the right fielder, was called out on strikes his one trip. Two and 0. Missing wide. And on 4 pitches, Gazzola draws a walk. First walk given up by either pitcher, and it brings the conference out to the mound. Mike Morando popped up, leading off the second inning. He's the second baseman for the Mustangs. They're coming out to try and break up the huddle. Nice to have an umpire who communicates with us. He waves saying that's the first trip for Paula. High for a ball. Top of the order, Travers Moody, the shortstop, on deck. In for a strike. The runner takes off, easily in with a stolen base. Two for two with stolen bases for the Mustangs. That's going to make it up in the seats. Perez with the delivery. Thought about it, started to pull the trigger, held up, it was up and in for a ball. Chased that pitch, it was way up and in. Popped up, shortstop Piano calls Thomas off. Perez got a lot of help with that pitch. That was way up and in. So 2 away with the runner at second. Travis Moody singled and scored the first run, leading off the ball game. Last time up, he struck out swinging. Chased the pitch that was way down and away. Way up and in. Gazzola second get a good-sized lead. Up and away for a ball. Moody got one of the 3 straight hits to start the game. When Medford jumped out quickly. In for a strike. The English finally got back in the game in the third, getting 2, so that's where we are, 3-2. 2 outs here in the fourth with a runner at second. And getting a very good lead at second base. High for a ball. Slices it way down, right side, down in that grassy knoll. Strike 3 call. He started to go to first base. The umpire rung him up. So they leave a runner at second. We're halfway through the ball game with Medford now holding on to that skinny 1-run lead. Third strikeout for Perez. So he gave up the first walk by either pitcher, but it got stranded. And we'll move into the bottom half of the fourth. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 for the Bulldogs. Facing John Wright, starting his fourth inning. Hard to believe the season is ending. This being Wednesday, the weekend is the last of the regular season. And I mentioned before, we have the Mullins tournament and then St. Mary's. The Holland tournament ended, and now St. Mary's has picked it up. They're having a tournament of their own with 4 pretty good teams. They'll be playing Saturday and Sunday. Mullins tournament is Friday and Saturday. They run into each other a little bit on Saturday. Mullins has it all to himself on Friday, and St. Mary's has it all to themselves on Sunday. Elian Pena, the catcher, bounced out second to first, his 1 trip. In for a strike. Swing and a miss. Way wide for a ball. Warm-up action in the English bullpen. Missing again. The count goes 2-2. The 2-2 pitch up and coming. Foul back, and we'll do it again. I don't know if this team's practicing over at Manning Field. I see some lacrosse sticks. A lot of bodies running around. Chop to third. They're going to have to hurry. They're not going to get him. He's got an infield hit. Nice try by Burns, who had a hustle. Lost his hat, made a good strong throw, but Pena beat it. It's like a swinging bunt. Jacob Ozuna, I believe, is going to run. So Ozuna will run at first base. Wilfredo Perez, the pitcher, got a base hit. His last time up. Herrera running for him, stole second, but got stranded here. Englishes have base runners in every inning. They finally did the scoreboard in the third to close within 3-2. Now they have the tying run at first, leading off the fourth inning. In for a strike. Josue Prandy, the right fielder, is the on-deck hitter. Hit back foul out of play.
Bring it out now, Wilfredo, let's go. Bring that out, baby, let's go.
Chased that pitch that broke down and away and missed it. So Wright's got at least one strikeout in every inning. He got 2 in the third, so he's got 5 now with 1 out in the fourth inning. Josue Prandy popped to second base. In for a strike. Ozuna's getting a very short lead at first base, so it doesn't look like they're going to be running. Hit in the left field for a base hit. So Prandy gets a base hit. First and second with 1 out. Eward Beato, who doubled and scored the first English run. He dumped one right behind third base, just out of the reach of the third baseman Burns, just inside the left field foul line, and he scored the first run. They shorten up at first and third defensively. That pitch broke down the way. He couldn't reach it with the bat. I'm going to swing at the first pitch wherever it was. It broke way down and away. If it was a left-handed hitter, it might have hit him. Nice stop by the catcher Crowhan. Keeps the runners at first and second. Missing wide. Ooh, excuse me, the umpire said strike. I guess I better let the umpire call balls and strikes. Hit off the second baseman's glove. Miranda did a nice job. He didn't make the play, but he knocked it down. It was going in the outfield. That would have been the tying run. Piano gets his second hit, and English has the bases loaded for Gil McGalva. That was a shot going in the right center. Miranda dove, got a glove on it. Kept it in the infield, otherwise it's going to be 3-3, and it would be first and third. So now it's the bases loaded with one out for Gilbert Galvo. Fly to center field. He sacrificed, and when they picked up the bunt, they threw it away at first base. He made it to second. He scored on Benson's base hit to make it 3-2. Hit slowly to short. They throw it away. He's safe at first base. English has tied it up. Thanks to Medford. Off the catcher, the runner started, and he almost threw it away again. The runner was coming, and everybody was running. They had everybody off the bases. And then they threw it back to the pitcher, and they threw it by the pitcher. Luckily, the third baseman covered. So the base is still loaded with one out. Benson is 2 for 2 with an RBI. English has tied it up, looking to take their first lead. Fouled into the middle of the catcher. So a hit, a strikeout, a hit, and an error. Missing wide for a ball. Swing and a miss. With the time, I think what they're trying to do is have the cars out in the outfield shut their lights out. One car did it. The other guy turned his directional lights on. Still hasn't shut the lights off. I think the DPW driver over there is going to go over and tell him to shut his lights off. They threw it away. They tried to pick the runner off and they threw it away. Back-to-back errors has given English the lead. Medford will bring the infield in. Hit foul to the backstop. As the lights come on here at Frazier Field, or most of them, down and in for a ball. Took a good look at that one. So they got the guy to shut his lights off in the car. Solid shot, just fouled. That didn't miss by much. He ripped that one, and it just kicked out a foot or two by the first base bag. That would have been interesting. Piano at third, Galver at second, 1 out, 2 runs in. Hits it foul, Benson hanging around. Missing for ball 4. So the bases are loaded again. Gilbert Galver singled and struck out. Solid shot by third. Got out in front of it and pulled it foul. Got all of that one. Galver's the 7th hitter in the inning for English. Down the way for a ball. It started with a little tap toward third base by Pena for a swinging bunt hit. Missing again, 2-1. In for a strike, and the count evens at 2. High for a ball. We got a big pitch coming up. Bases loaded, 1 out, 3-2 on Galva. Solid shot to left field, just goes foul. Everybody holding their breath as it went all the way down the left field line, and just as shortly before the foul pole, it hooked foul. So we'll do it again at 3-2. Another big pitch coming up. Low for ball 4. It forces in a run. Piano scores his second run of the game. And that brings a trip out to the mound. Medford was leading. English cut it to 3-2. And all of a sudden, 7 hitters come to the plate. Back-to-back walks, 2 errors. They got 3 hits in the inning. One was just a little tap, swinging bunt down the left field line. So they stay with Wright. Julian Rodriguez has lined to left field. Piccolo making a nice catch in left center field, taking a hit away and a run away. Last time up, he struck out swinging. Hit to left field. Safe at second base. The runner, Galva's going to score. Galva took off like it was a hit. He was all the way home. He had to go all the way back to third. When they threw the ball to second base, they can't get Galva leaving too soon. He left too soon, but then he went back and tagged up. But they almost didn't get the run because Benson almost got nailed for going back to second base. Swing and a miss by Thomas. Thomas is the 9th hitter in the inning. He is struck out and flied to right. So that was a solid shot. The left fielder playing out in the boondocks made the catch. Galva took off like it was a hit. He was almost all the way home. He had to go all the way back to third, figuring he's not going to be able to tag up. But then Benson got off the bag at second, going to go to third. They make the force at second. So they send 9 to the plate. 4 of them score. And all of a sudden, that 3-0 lead that Medford had in the first inning, it's now 6-3 English going into the 5th. 2-3-4 for Medford as we start the 5th inning. Dave Crohan singled and scored, bounced out first baseman to the pitcher covering. So he's 1 for 2 with a run scored. And we're going to get warm-up action. Pitching low for a ball. Perez will start his 5th inning of work. Slice foul. Off to the left. A tough first inning, but he's been good since. Medford's only had 2 base runners since they got the 3 in the first inning. One was an error, the other was a walk. Hit to second base. I don't know where Galvin was going. Galvin took off like he was going to field the ground ball. He had to hurry back to first base. He got there just in time. Crohan is out 4-3. John Wright, the pitcher, singled running for him. O'Keefe scored. And then he reached on an error, and O'Keefe running for him stole second, but got stranded there. That one bounced way out in front of home plate, off to the first base side. Low again, 2-0. In for a strike. The 2-1 pitch. This wide for a ball. Hit foul behind home plate. That got a piece of pain to the catcher. He's bouncing around. And the umpire does a nice job as usual. They walk out and hand the ball to the pitcher to give the catcher a few seconds to try and overcome getting hit. Hit to third. Thomas waits for the big hop and then throws him out. Good job. So Wright hit it well, but it popped right in the lap of Thomas. 2 up, 2 down. Justin Marino popped to second, flies to center. Perez was ready, then he stepped off. High for a ball. Hit way up in the air behind home plate. It's going to wind up in the sheets.
Come on, there, young baby, let's go.
Hit in the air. Galva, the center fielder, coming on, makes the play. So 1-2-3 inning. Second 1-2-3 inning for Perez. And in the last 4 innings, he's only faced 14 hitters. 12 of them are out. 1 reset an error, 1 walked. So a little different than that first inning when he gave up the 3 runs and 4 hits. He has kept Medford off the board. We're moving to the bottom half of the 5th. Elian Pena will lead off again. He led off the 4th. He's going to lead off the 5th because they battled around in the 4th. He got the little tap, little swinging bunt down the third base line. He grounded out the second his first time. So they had warm-up action in the bullpen, but Wright's still out there. I mentioned English knocked Classical out of first place in the intercity rival last week. Now English has a chance to help Glasgow get back in first place. If Glasgow beats Revere tonight, they would wind up a tie because they wouldn't have any more Greater Boston League games. And then Medford would have to beat Revere in their next game to stay in first place with Glasgow. But we still have a few innings to go. Pena will lead it off. Gil McGalver is going out to warm up. Up and in for a ball. 7, 8, and 9 for English as we start the fifth inning. I feel bad for Tech and the team they're playing. They've been here for a while, supposedly starting at 7 o'clock. I don't think that's going to happen. Not starting at 7, that's for sure. In for a strike. Popped up, coming on. Nice play by the center fielder. Marino got a nice jump. Looked like it might be a base hit behind the shortstop. And the center fielder, Marino, made a very nice play getting to it. So 1 up, 1 down in the fifth. And we got a pinch hitter for Perez. Daniel Fuentes is going to hit for Perez. Nice stop. Had to go way to his right. Crohan stopped that one going to the backstop. In for a strike. Foul tip held onto by Crohan. Count goes 1 and 2. Strike 3 call, good pitch. 2 up, 2 down in the fifth. Josue Prandy got a big base hit and scored a run in the fourth inning. In for a strike. So Tech and the team they're playing with have been sitting and watching for a while. Kind of backed away. As he was backing away, he swung and punched it down to third base. Almost looked like a swinging door as he was swinging at that pitch. Hit in the air, left field, going back over the head of the left fielder, all the way back. Brandy's got his second hit. Wright will not get a 1-2-3 inning. Brandy extends it with the double, second extra base hit for the Bulldogs. The other extra base hit is now up at bat. Eward Beato struck out, doubled and scored, singled and scored. In for a strike. So he's 2 for 3 and scored twice. Not bad for your leadoff hitter. The runner takes off for third. It got by. Swing and a miss off the catcher's glove, the pass ball. Moves the runner to third. He thought about trying to score. He was breaking to steal third. Now timeout. Coach Paula wants to talk to his hitter. Again, the umpires giving us a sign. This is the only umpire I've seen in I don't know how long that's even thought about getting together. Hit to center, couple of steps to his right. Marino makes his second play. English leaves a runner at third. We finished 5 in this great Boston League battle. 6-3 English over Medford. Rocco Pucci, the first baseman, singled, knocking in 2 runs in the first inning. Flies to center his last time up. Lines it in the center field for a base hit. So he's got his second hit. That's the first hit for Medford since the first inning. And Jason Sanchez will run at first base. Jaden Burns, the third baseman, has popped to the pitcher and grounded to third. Low for a ball. High for a ball. High again. 3-0. A walk here would bring the tying run to home plate. And on 4 pitches, he walks Burns. So 2 on with nobody out for Mike Piccolo, who reached on an error and grounded to short. And we're going to trip out to the mound. They had Gilmer Galvo warming up. And that may be it for Perez. And that's going to be it for Perez. Gilmer Galvo will be the new pitcher. Wilfredo Perez goes to third base, and the third baseman, Engel Thomas, goes out to center field, replacing Galvo out there. And Medford will have the tying run at home plate with nobody out here in the 6th inning. So Wilfredo Perez goes 5. Did a nice job. He had a tough first inning, but he gave up 3 runs. 2 of them were earned. One scored on that pop-up that was dropped. Gave up 5 hits, struck out 3, walked 2. So he did a good job. Galvo will try to save it. Way up and in for a ball. Mike Piccolo has reached on error and grounded to short. The error was the pop-up and the infielder was dropped and a run scored. In for a strike. Safe at first, he beat it. So now they have the tying runs on base. The go-ahead run at home plate. Alex Cazzola was struck out and walked. Cazzola is the right fielder for the Mustangs. High for a ball. In for a strike. Good pitch for a strike. He ducked away, it broke in. And it's 1-2. Down the way for a ball. Didn't go far enough off the catcher for anybody to go anywhere. Two the count. Got out in front of it, hit it well, but hit it well foul down in the bullpen area, down in left field. They're calling time when they chase the ball down. They usually, and now I see why. It popped out into fair territory. I was going to say they nibbled at it. Stop the game when the ball goes in the bullpen, but it kicked out into fair territory. And the umpire was the only one, the base umpire was the only one to see that. Way up and in, late swing, just got a piece and fouled it toward the Medford dugout. Nice stop by Pena on a pitch in the turf that bounced out in front of home plate. And that's ball 4, brings in a run. Now the tying runs are in scoring position. Ethan Ramsey is going to hit for Mirando, the second baseman, at the top of the order on deck. So the bases are still loaded. It's now 6-4. Still nobody out. A hit, a walk, a hit, and a walk. High for a ball. Just had a comfortable lead coming in, but now the wheel has come off the wagon. High for ball 2. And I've been a little bit quiet in the Medford dugout for a while. Now they're up and at it, and it's quieted down in the English bullpen dugout. Low for ball 3. On the verge of walking in another run. Another walk. So now it's 6-5. Tying run at third, go-ahead run at second. Top of the order, Travis Moody, the hitter. That one drops in for a strike. Moody has singled and scored in the first inning. He struck out swinging his last two. He's facing Galva for the first time. Up and in for a ball. Galva working very quickly. Hit to first. Safe at the plate. They threw the ball away. They bounced it to Pena. The error will score the run. They had the easy play, but they threw the ball, they bounced it. Pena had to go get it. He was off the plate. Someone drops in. Dave Cohan singled and scored, bounced out, first baseman and pitcher covering, bounced out second and first. Medford has tied it up. And they have the bases loaded and still nobody out. Up and away for a ball. So it looked like English was comfortably on top. All of a sudden, the closet door opened and everything fell out. In for a strike. Three walks, two of them forcing in runs. An error. Nice stop by Pena again. He's getting a workout behind home plate. Hit foul off his foot. Still nobody out here. Crohan is the seventh hitter in the inning. Hit off the first baseman. They make the play. That play is going to go 3-4-1. That's the first out. Medford is now taking the lead. And they still have second and third and one out. Great hustle by Galva. That one off, Gilbert Galva. Benson, the second baseman, got it. Galva hustled and covered first and got the throw. That's a very unusual 3-4-1 put out. Hit way up in the air. Pietro, the shortstop, makes the play about a step on the outfield turf. That's a very big out. So Medford had a 3-run first inning. They're in the midst of a 4-run sixth inning with 2 outs. Justin Marino is the 9th hitter in the inning. English batted around and scored 4. Medford duplicating that. Drops in for a strike. Marino has popped to second and flies to center field twice. High for a ball. 3 walks and an error. That's going to make it up in the seats. High for a ball. Hit foul to the English dugout. That 7 o'clock tech game is not going to start until probably 8 o'clock. Hit foul again. It's just about 7 o'clock now, and we have an inning and a half left. And the rest of this inning. Up and in for a ball. And that's ball 4. So Rocco Pucci, who started this inning with a base hit and scored the first run, is up. They bat around. He's the 10th hitter in the inning. Pucci is single, knocking in 2, fly to center field, singled and scored. That, he chopped at that like he was chopping wood. That was way up and in. He took a swing at it and fouled it off. They're worried about the umpire getting hit with that one. Off his mask. So the bases are loaded again for Medford. Four walks in the inning, 2 of them forced in runs. Again, way up and in, and he helped Galva with that swing. 2 of the walks forced in runs, one of the walks scored. An error. brought in a run. A fielder's choice brought in a run, and that was a tough play because it went off the first baseman to the second baseman, and he threw out, got the out with the pitcher covering. Down and away for a ball. Low again. Swing and a miss. They finally get out of it. They sent 10 to the plate. 4 of them walked. 2 of the walks forced in runs. 1 of the walks scored a run. A fielder's choice scored a run. An error scored a run. So they get 4. They do it with 2 base hits. Galva got a strikeout and a putout. And right back on the mound, all of a sudden, instead of trailing 6-3, he's leading 7-6. We'll move into the bottom half of the 6th, and it will be 2, 3, and 4. Gilbert Galva flies to center, sacrificed, and when it got thrown away at first base to run him from second going to third, came around to score. Galva wound up at second. He scored on Benson's base hit that closed the gap to 3-2. Last time up, he reached on an error again. The ground ball is short, thrown away, and he scored his second run. So he's 0 for 2, but he scored 2. Pop back foul up in the seats. Gilbert Galva, Gerald Benson, Gilbert Galva, the 3 hitters. Hit to left field, coming on. The left fielder again, playing out the Boondocks. He was way, way out. It bounced in front of him. English got a break there. So the tying run at first. Gerald Benson has singled, knocking in a run and walk. So he's 2 for 2 with an RBI. The runner takes off. He's in, and they throw it into center field. Galva's going to go to third. So he steals second, and the error. So the tying runners at third with nobody out. Up and away for a ball. Medford brings the infield in. Both teams trying to give this one away. Down and in for a ball. Gilbert Galva, the on-deck hitter. Chased that pitch, was down in the turf. Right, got some help with that pitch. Swing and a miss, it gets away. They have to throw him out at first base. Benson kind of helped out right on a couple of those swings. Gilbert Galva singled, struck out, walked, forcing in a run. So it could be Gilbert Galva bringing in Gilmer Galva. If he can put the ball in play, the Galva family could tie it up for English. Down the way again. In for a strike. 2-1 the count. Missing down the way. 3-1. Julian Rodriguez, the on-deck hitter. That's ball 4. And we're going to get a pitch runner, I think. Guzman is going to run for Galva. So will he steal second? If they do, what does Medford do? Julian Rodriguez hit a shot to left center field that the left fielder Piccolo made a nice running catch on, taking a hit away and taking a run away back in the first inning. He struck out swinging and then he hit a sacrifice fly to left field. Fake to third, hoping they could get the runner off at first. Medford says they're infield back at double play depth, hoping to get out of the inning. In for a strike. Swing and a miss. Rodriguez wants to put the ball in play someplace to get that run home. They haven't shown any signs of trying to steal second base. Very short lead at first. Didn't miss by much. Medford wanted that pitch. It missed. It didn't miss by much. That's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes. Medford screaming on that pitch. The runner takes off, foul ball. Swing and a miss. He chased the pitch for strike 3. That's a very big out. So it looked good. Runner at third, nobody out. A strikeout, a walk, and a strikeout. The runner is still at third. Engel Thomas is struck out, fly to right, bounced into a fielder's choice. Down away for a ball. In for a strike. The runner takes off, they don't throw it, they let him go. So the tying run at third, the go-ahead run at second, but there's 2 outs. And Thomas is down on the count. Chased that pitch, it was way over his head. Right, strikes out the side. That's got to hurt the Bulldogs. They had a runner at third, nobody out. The tying run, they had first and third with 1 out. And Wright gets 2 big swinging strikeouts. So the score stays the same. Medford holds on to that 1-run lead. It's Medford 7, English 6 going into the 7th. Changes all over for English. Prandy, the right fielder, goes to second base. Benson, the second baseman, goes to first. Gilbert Galva, the first baseman, goes to the mound. And I believe Thomas went to right field after playing center field when Galva came in to pitch. 6, 7, and 8. Jaden Burns walked in that big 6th inning and scored a run. 1 of 4 walks. His walk scored. The other 2 of the other walks forced in runs. They scored on a fielder's choice and an error. He has popped to first, grounded to third, and walked and scored. They sent 10 hitters to the plate, wiped out that 6-3 English lead, and then English couldn't come up in the 6th. A runner at third, nobody out. They couldn't put the ball in play. 3 swinging strikeouts. Fishing for a ball. Hit the shot. They throw it away. So another error. It's been a game of errors and walks. Medford got 4 hits in the first inning, scored 3 runs. 1 came on an error. Would have been the 3rd out. Scored the 3rd run. A pop-up dropped. They only got 2 hits in the 6th inning, but they scored 4 runs. So they only have 6 hits. They get the bunt down. Galva helps himself with the putout. Alex Cazzolo, the right fielder, struck out, walked twice. Second time he walked, he got an RBI, and then he came and scored. So 2 of the walks scored. And 2 of the walks knocked in runs. Nobody was ready for that throw to second base. Everybody was hanging around. It skipped out into center field, but Burns was on his way back to second, so he couldn't go anywhere. Pena just threw it through, and both the shortstop and the second baseman said, you know. They wound up with Galva in center field. In for a strike. And it's ball 4. Six walks given up by English pitching. Mike Mirando's back in the game. He was hit for. He popped up, second popped up the shot. And then Ethan Ramsey hit for him. Ramsey drew a walk, forcing in a run. Low for a ball. Dishing up and in. And here's another walk. And they have the bases loaded again. And that brings a trip out to the mound. Seven walks given up by English pitching. Two of them scored, two of them forced in runs. So they stay with Gilbert Galva. 1 out. Bases loaded. Medford try to add to a 7-6 lead. English has been very gracious hosts. Off the catcher, the runner's going to score. That one bounced. Burns scores easily. Makes that hole a little deeper for English coming in the bottom of the 7th. That one bounced as well. Nice stop by Pena. So now a wild pitch scores a run. We've had just about everything. We haven't had a hit batsman yet. In for a strike. Wide for a ball. And it's ball 4. Eighth walk given up by English pitching. Medford has the bases loaded yet again. Gabe Cohan singled in a run, bounced out, first baseman and pitcher covering, bounced out second to first, and he bounced into that wacky, hit the ball off the first baseman, deflected to the second baseman, And Gilmer Galva, who was the pitcher, covered first and got the put out. And it scored a run. High for a ball. So the only ball put in play this inning so far is the sacrifice by Piccolo that moved the runner over that reached on the error starting the inning over to second base. In for a strike. On the inside corner for a strike. Off the catcher again, another run. They still haven't put the ball in play, but they scored two. Up and away for a ball. Sixth and seventh innings have been very long for Medford. "16 hitters. Called third strike. He started to go to first base. He thought he had another walk. Two away. Right, the pitcher singled. O'Keefe running for him, scored a run. He reached on an error, grounded to third, popped to short. In for a strike. 17 hitters in the sixth and seventh inning for Medford. Down and in for a ball. Hit to short. They finally get the third out. The ground to the short is the only ball put in play, not counting the sacrifice. But Medford gets two more. So it's now 9-6. And English down to their last three outs. They didn't, Medford scored two. They got 6 runs in the sixth and seventh innings with 2 base hits. And I'll do the wrap up now so we can close quickly because we were going on forever. Medford got 3 straight hits. Pucci getting a big 2 RBI single, then a pop-up was dropped. The third run scored. It was 3-0 Medford. English got 2 in the third. Pieto doubled. Galva bunted. The runner went to third. They threw the ball to first. They threw it away. Galva wound up at second. Pieto scored. Benson got a base hit knocking Galva. It was 3-2. English got 4 in the fourth inning. Payne got a base hit. Prandy got a base hit. Pieto got a base hit. An error on the shortstop. a walk with the bases loaded to Galva, a sacrifice fly by Rodriguez. They scored 4 to make it 6-3. Medford got 4 in the 6th inning with only 2 base hits. A single, a walk, a single, a walk forced in a run, a walk forced in a run, an error brought in a run, a fielder's choice brought in a run. It was then 7-6 in favor of Medford. English had the tying run at third with nobody out in the 6th, couldn't get him home. Medford got 2 more without a hit, an error, a sacrifice, back-to-back walks. There was a wild pitch in between, another wild pitch. Both runs scored, and that's where we are, 9-6. Elian Pena has grounded out, singled, and scored. Actually, it was Ozuna running for him that scored. Swing and a miss. We a new pitcher. Rocco Pucci is the new pitcher. And I believe Wright's gone over to first base. Hit back to the mound. Pitch it to the first baseman. 1 quick out. So Wright goes 6. Gives up the 6 runs. Gives up 10 base hits. Walked only 1, struck out 9. Couple of hits, but a couple of big errors. Actually walked 2 in that inning. One of the walks forced in a run. In for a strike. Kyle Furlong hitting for Perez. This will be a very tough loss for the Bulldogs because they virtually gave it away. Medford tried to give it away. English took it away early, and then English gave it back. Hit in the air, and it's going to go out of play. Again, you worry. Greater Lawrence got here. They got here a little bit early for a 7 o'clock game. They've been sitting around waiting to play. Tech's been sitting around waiting to play. 7 o'clock game, and it's senior night, so it's not going to start till probably 8 o'clock. Chop to third. Safe with the base hit. That's the second time they've punched one down the third base line and just beat the throw. And again, for young people at home, that head first dive into first base, you lose a step. It would have been easier if he just ran through the first base bag. Josue Prandy has popped up, but then he singled and scored and doubled. Again, I'm shocked that left fielder is out. He almost has to buy a ticket to get back in. The runner takes off. Out at second base. It's questionable. You don't need one, you need three. But they had the runner going. They've been stealing bases, but that time Crowhan threw him out. So English down to their last out. Swing and a miss by Prandy. Hangs high for a ball. So Medford's going to escape with the win. English had it. Medford gave it away. English gave it back. Tapped out in front. Safe at first on the error. And we've had a lot of those. Wright had to go up and stop that one from being overthrown. Eward Beato is not going to hit. Saul Herrera is going to hit for Beato. Beato had 2 hits in 4 trips. He had a double, scored a run, single, scored a run. He was 2 for 4. In for a strike. Herrera's got to get on to bring the tying run to home plate. High for a ball. Hit to short. They get the play at first, and that'll do it. So a game of giveaways. Both teams gave it away. English gave it away last, and Medford escapes with a 9-6 win, scoring 4 in the 6th and 2 in the 7th. The 2 in the 7th without a hit. English had the tying run at 3rd with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th. Couldn't score. And then Medford had those 2 runs with an error and 3 straight walks with a couple of wild pitches and put it away. So they'll be able to smile going home, but it was shaky. They're 1 game away from claiming the Greater Boston League Championship outright if they beat Revere. A win tonight would have put Classical in a tie with them. But English was the last team to give it away. Medford gave it away first. English gave it back. And it winds up 9-6. English on the short end. For English, Beato got a double, a single, scored 2 runs. Gilmer Galva got credit with a sacrifice and reached on the error. Reached on a second error, got a base hit, scored 2 runs. Terrell Benson had 2 base hits and a walk, knocked in a run. Gilbert Galva had a single, 2 walks, 1 walk, got him an RBI with the bases loaded. Julian Rodriguez had a sacrifice fly. Elian Pena had a base hit and scored a run. Wilfredo Perez had a base hit. And pinch hitting for him late, Kyle Furlong had a base hit. And Josue Prandy had a single and a double and scored a run and reached on an error. But English gave it away. They were leading 6-3 going into the 6th. Medford only got 2 hits, but they scored 4 runs to take the lead. English had the tying run with nobody out at 3rd. Couldn't put the ball in play. A walk put runs at 1st and 3rd. 3 swinging strikeouts got Medford and the pitcher John Wright out of the inning. And then in the 7th, Medford added 2 more without a hit. Walks again, errors again. made it 9, to 6. And then English got a couple of runners on, but they had one thrown out stealing, and they wind up losing the game and giving it away after they took it away from Medford, who tried to give it away. So Medford will go to 12-7, 11-2 in the league. English will drop to 10-8, and English will get ready to take on St. Mary's in the Mullins tournament, this being Wednesday on Friday night here at Frazier Field. So a bizarre game, both teams playing giveaway, and English gave it away last, and Medford wins it by a score of 9-6 here at Frazier Field in this Greater Boston League battle. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.